Hello, is anyone there? This is Grimm Grinner, on all channels.
Infected attacks rampant in the GAT. The government failed. Unified in the corporation.
Have a safe day.
Desolation. An endless wasteland.
Nothing but static.
Searching for a shred of hope.
Welcome to the Wastes. Good morning, Wasteland and the GAT. This is Grimm Grinner on all secure channels, transmitting today to provide some updates as I make my way through to the next part of my mission behind the walls. I've kept things close to the chest for a while, but seeing as we're hurtling towards the end goal, I might as well dish out what's been going on. Several months ago, as we all know, there was a transmission cutting into all available signals out in the wastes, and presumably here in the GAT as well. Sounded like Morse code of some kind, warning that something was very wrong behind those giant walls the corporations hide behind. Around the same time I picked up and decoded that message, I also found out through a contact of mine that some scientists for the corporations have been working on trying to figure out the feral virus and see if they could reverse the effects, at least enough that they could control them through other means. But that sort of thing could also point to a cure. Of course, with Farah and their extremely slowed version of infection, I figured that there must be some sort of weight to these rumors, and hatched a plan to sneak in here and find out what I could, see if there's a cure that could be made or something. Hell, even if I could just find out what they know about the virus or how it relates to the static wraiths, I would have been fine with that too. Combining that with the cry for help simply meant that I had to get in here and find out what's been going on. So, I disguised myself, got picked up, and have been working with a few secretive contacts right in the middle of corporate territory to try and get some answers. It's been a long while since then, and I never realized how badly I missed my little bunker in the dust. I've got some files and small drives with information on what the corporations know about the feral virus, which is really not much more than what we do out there. But it could have details no one else may have picked up on or thought of. There's still no confirmation that any sort of cure would work despite years of trials. Just a lot of dead corpos. Unfortunately, Farah has vanished from what I last was able to hear, which worries me that the virus is finally catching up, or that something else is going on. Either way, this info might not help them, but it could be of use for the future. As for the mysterious transmission, I did eventually figure out what that's about, but still haven't found out who let it out there. Apparently these two things are linked, meaning the corporations have been picking up residents of the Shawa district and the like, and bringing them into the tower with the promise of some better conditions. If the person they take has a family, then they are compensated with credits and some extra limited privileges, but they never see the person that was taken by elites again. Meanwhile, that person is brought to the tower and subjected to doses of the feral virus, as well as some other chems they've concocted to try and make their workforces subservient and more useful for whatever goals the corporations have at any given time. This would explain why people in Shawa and Caring, and any district that's just used for workers, are all running scared, trying to do as best as they can so that they aren't seen as someone that would be more useful being experimented on. I'm hoping to try and figure out a way to put a stop to this, but that's where I'm stumped. Birdie thinks they could get me some sort of discreet clearance to get through the security checkpoints into some of the other districts, but without any solid way of knowing if it would work, I'm just putting my trust in a creep that could also be dusted for even trying that. Combine that with the corporation's #1 elite agent Zeta on my trail, and I honestly don't know what the next move could possibly be. I've been working through potential alternatives, and Birdie did get a hold of a disguise at least, one of the creep suits, but without an ID card, I'm as good as caught stepping out anywhere in that. Short of waging all-out war inside the walls, I don't even know what I would do to bring down whatever it is the corporations have been up to. What I need to do the most is lose Zeta and try to find a way to get some information from the tower that could expose what they're doing here. Sorry, Wastelanders and Survivors. I know I'm rambling, but I've been radio silent for so long that I can't help but vent my brain to the static for a bit. Who knows what might click doing that. No matter where I go, there's no guarantee for safety. tour district carrying, or they've all got the chance of being caught, and even if they don't recognize me as their number one most wanted, which would be the worst option, I'd be getting sent for reconditioning, or even worse. Maybe Birdie's plan can work, I don't know. I'd need a pass card that can pull even Zeta. Unless, that could be even more dangerous. But it could be something. And even if it goes wrong, then it's still showing them for what they are. Birdie, it's red. If you can hear this safely, click twice. Perfect. I need you to meet me at the usual drop point, and I need that ID card you've been working on. I'll tell you what I've got in mind when I see you, but we're going to need to start work yesterday. I'll also talk to the others and see if they can help, because once things start moving, they'll move fast. That's all I've got for now, Wastes. This has been Grimm Grinner on all secure channels, transmitting on pirate radio. See you in the Wastes. Welcome to the Wastes is a Voice in the Static production, written, starring, and produced by Grimm Grinner Hutchinson. You can find Welcome to the Wastes on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and other social media sites, and there's a merch store through Etsy. Links are in the episode description. Welcome to the Wastes is also made possible with the love and support of listeners and wastelanders like you. If you want to help support the show on Patreon, that link will also be in the description, alongside the list of monthly supporters. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the Wastes.